We live in this 20th century and the 21st century, and the times have been well described by somebody, but very apt, that these are the times of fancier houses but broken homes. These are the times of double incomes and more divorces. These are the times of high-rise buildings but low-rise characters. These are the times of broader highways but narrower viewpoints. These are the times where man has gone all the way to the moon and has come back, but he finds it difficult to cross the road and meet the new neighbor. These are the times where sometimes you have good profits in businesses but shallow relationships. In short, they say that these are the times where we have much to show in the show window and nothing in the stock room. Well, you have much in the stock room, Ajay, and my good friend Ashish. They say that we have much to show in the show window and nothing in the stock room. मतलब दिखाने के लिए हमारे पास बहुत सारी चीजें हैं, लेकिन मन में पवित्र विचार, बुद्धि में शुद्ध भावनाएं कम होती जा रही हैं. So we live in these times. We need, when it is an entrepreneur summit, to rethink about ourselves, to rethink about the way we work, to rethink about the relationships that we keep and maintain, to rethink about the type of the results that we want, not just financial gains. As Ratan Tata used to say, and say many times, that don't count the success of your business upon the amount of money that you have made, upon the number of employees that you have employed, but count the success of your business and yourself on the number of lives that you have improved in the course. So we need to rethink upon the relationships that we keep and maintain. We need to rethink a lot how we do, what we do, why we do. Only then we'll be able to make India a $5 trillion economy. That is the goal by 2025, but this generation of ours would definitely see India a $10 trillion economy. And we are on the path of that. With each and every happening in the world, a good happening or a bad happening, India is coming out as a superpower, as a world power. Even in the present crisis that is going on, India has emerged as a world power. So it is on the shoulders of us rests the responsibility of taking our society, our great country, and of course along with that the great tradition and culture. Because we just don't want to make India a developed country, not just a superpower. We also want to make India Jagat Guru. So we want to be a developed country, we want to be a superpower, we want to be a Jagat Guru as well. So we need to rethink a lot. For that, we need a lot of introspection. Lot of information converted into knowledge and knowledge converted into wisdom. Today we have loads of information with us because it's the era of the net. But what is sugar to a diabetic patient is loads of information to human mind. We need to convert that information into knowledge, and that knowledge rightly converted into wisdom. You start rethinking, redesigning, and then you rebuild yourself, your organization, and thus the society and the country. Readjust yourself. On a fine Sunday morning, a gentleman was reading the newspaper and he just got interested in a fine liking story of his. Right into that moment, his little 7 or 8-year-old boy, he crept inside his room and said, "Dad, you promised me a cricket bat last week and you did not get one for me." And the gentleman said, "I'm sorry for that. my little boy, but tomorrow, Monday morning, the first job I am doing is getting you a cricket bat. He said, Dad, you told me this last Sunday as well. And today I have a match. Today noon time, we are playing a local match with the adjoining society. And I proudly boasted in front of my friends that I am coming with my own cricket bat. And for a 7 or 8 year old boy to go to a local cricket match with his own bat is a matter of pride. Dad said, I'm very sorry for that. Still the little boy kept on harassing his dad. And the dad said that I must engage him somewhere so that he stops harassing me, forgets the bat, and he allows me to read. He just looked around, and on an A4 size paper, he found a world map. So he picked it up and showed to the little boy. See, this is called a world map. Here is India, here is Asia, here is China, here is Russia, here is Ukraine, here is rest of Europe, the NATO. This is England, and this is Africa, and this is North America, this is Latin America. Now I'm going to tear it into small pieces. I'll just tear it into small pieces. I'll shuffle it and give it to you. You need to readjust it. And the little boy said, fine. If you readjust right away, within a couple of hours, I'll get your bat. And the gentleman was confident that an 8-year-old boy who has never studied geography, who has never seen a world map, won't be able to get it right. So he did that, gave the small pieces into the little boy's hand, and get it well sellotaped, sticked properly. And surprisingly, the boy came back in 10 minutes. And he showed his dad the paper, and he saw it, and it was a perfectly well arranged the world map. He was very surprised. How did you get it done? The boy smiled while pulling back the paper from the dad's hand, and it turned in around and said, see Dad, behind was a picture of a man standing. I adjusted the man and the world got adjusted on the other side. आठ साल का बच्चा इतना तो कर सकता है ना. He could adjust a standing man in a standing posture. I adjusted the man and the world on the other side got adjusted. If you don't remember any other thing in the course of my talk today or in the course of this summit today, take this in your heart. Adjust yourself well and your world will get adjusted. What is that adjustment? Rethinking, redesigning, and thus rebuilding. You can always rethink of the course that you are in. You can always rethink of the profession that you are in. You can always rethink of the procedures and the methods that you apply in the profession that you are in. Innovation is not just an outside thing. Innovation in the outside comes by innovation within, and that innovation within is rethinking and then redesigning. Sometimes by an expert advice, sometimes by an intuition, sometimes by reading something, sometimes by seeing something. If you keep your eyes open, if you keep your ears open, if you keep your mind open, and the heart as well, you can learn many things from people around you, from happenings around you, from information and news around you. If you wear these glasses that I am a lifetime student, constantly experimenting on myself, if you wear that glasses, each and every moment you will see opportunities around you. हमारे यहाँ मुंबई में समंदर में जितने पानी के बूंद हैं, इतनी अपॉर्चुनिटीज काम की और पैसे कमाने की यहाँ है, आसपास है. फॉर ग्रोथ, फॉर प्रोग्रेस, फॉर सक्सेस. आंखें खुली होनी चाहिए, कान खुले होने चाहिए, दिमाग खुला होना चाहिए, हृदय खुला होना चाहिए, तो ये मिल सकती है. So as I said, rethink with advices, with intuition, with observations, with knowledge. If you start rethinking, you will be able to redesign yourself. Sachin Tendulkar, as a 14-year-old teenager, joined the MRF Pace Foundation, which was working again under the great Australian pace bowler Dennis Lillee. Sachin always wanted to become a pace bowler, and he used to deliver good pace bowling. Dennis Lillee was sitting there, one of the all-time great pace bowlers. For him, the proverb goes that when Dennis bowls in Australia, the wicketkeeper stands behind the wickets in New Zealand. For Dennis, the proverb goes that his long hairs and broad shoulders obstructs the view of the side screen to the batsman. Now he was there at the MRF Pace Foundation because India was in search of quickies, that is real pace bowling. We had medium pacers, but we wanted real pace, and Sachin was a real good pace bowler at an age of 40. Well, Dennis Lillee was sitting there in the chair besides the pitch, and all the youngsters who had joined the foundation for training, basically first for selection, all were asked to bowl one over, 6 balls, and Lillee observed Sachin. Next day, all those who batted were asked to bowl, and all those who bowled were asked to bat. Sachin went up to the crease. He faced 3 balls, and Dennis Lillee stood up from his chair. Straight away walked to the crease. Catching the 14-year-old Sachin's hand, Dennis Lillee told him, "Forget pace bowling. The way you grip the bat, I see the selection of the shots, just 3 balls. I see your footwork. I see a second Don Bradman in you." These words of Dennis Lillee inspired Sachin to rethink, to redesign and rebuild his career. And today we know what he did with it. After rethinking and redesigning, Sachin gave a serious thought to Dennis Lillee's advice. He knew who the person was. As a 14-year-old boy, Sachin knew who the person was advising him. 355 test wickets, at that time the highest test wicket taker. So as I said, sometimes you rethink and redesign yourself with some expert advice. It carries value. It has the potential to change the course of your actions. One step further, it has the strength to change your career. One step further, it has the superior power of changing your destiny. So kabhi ye maan ke mat baithna, I am fine, I am okay, I have loads of information, I am an expert in my field, I don't need advice, I have so far succeeded, still I am on the track of success, of a good success in life. But as I said, always keep an attitude that I am a lifetime student of my profession. Do you agree with me or not? Just raise your hands if you say yes. Yes. Still it is not a louder one. Yes. I am a lifetime student of my profession. पूरी जिंदगी में एक विद्यार्थी हूँ. सीखते रहते हैं, समझने का प्रयत्न करते हैं, कुछ सीखे आगे बढ़ते हैं. As simple as that. So when you rethink, you redesign. कल ही कुछ न्यूज में आपने पढ़ा होगा, a new book, the TCS story. Chandrasekharan writes, who is now the chairman of Tata Sons. At that time he was heading TCS. In 2000 they had 10,000 employees. In 2020 they have 5 lakh employees. Chandrasekharan writes in this book that in the last 10 years to grow TCS, I traveled for 200 days in a year. That attitude of intense hard work can open new opportunities for you. And in the course of that intense hard work, you get the opportunities to rethink. If you sit back satisfied with your 6-hour, 7-hour, 8-hour input in your profession, you will not be able to rethink and redesign yourself. Intense hard work. The organization that I come from, the BAPS Swaminarayan Sanstha, we are one of the largest, rather among the top 10 NGOs of the world with a permanent status in the United Nations as an NGO. Most of you might have been to Swaminarayan Akshardham at Gandhinagar or Delhi. Just raise your hands if you've been there. All of you. I come from that organization. And the person who grew this organization to this level was our Guruji, Param Puja Pramukh Swami Maharaj, whose birth centenary celebrations we are celebrating this year. It will be a 30-day huge festival in Ahmedabad on ST Highway on 750 acres of land, exhibiting his life, the values with which he lived, his thoughts, his way of working, his teachings for the society, and 10 huge domes of 2,000 sitting capacity, teaching people better family values, how to handle stress, parenting and everything, light and sound shows, seminars, conferences, and beautiful glow gardens that you see at Dubai Expo at the moment. When he was made the president of this organization in 1950, we were a very small organization and handful of followers. From that, Pramukh Swami Maharaj grew this organization to this international class. The Hinduja brothers, when they meet Pramukh Swami Maharaj, Prakash Chand Hinduja, Gopi Chand Hinduja, they always tell Pramukh Swami Maharaj that if we take BAPS as a corporate, BAPS is the fastest growing organization in the world. Because, now listen carefully, Pramukh Swami Maharaj in a span of 45 years, from 1971 to 2016, in a span of 45 years, he gifted 1,300 institutions to the society. 1,300 hospitals, hostels, schools, colleges, community centers, sanskar kendras, mandirs and akshardhams. So an institute of social service to the society every 15th day of his life. Imagine somebody setting up a new office every 15th day in a new city of India. You're all saying no. Pramukh Swami Maharaj did it. And today's times, if somebody want to work, are quite conducive. I'm talking of the 70s, 80s and 90s. Where sometimes if he's in movement for even 10 days, it would be difficult for him to communicate to somebody, and if somebody wants to communicate with him. Every 15th day, Pramukh Swami Maharaj got a land, either in gift or a purchase. Land legally cleared. Then, what to set up there? A hospital, hostel, school, college decided upon by the board of trustees. Architect designs the plan. The plans passed with the local government bodies. Tenders listed out because we are a non-profit organization. Tender passed. Construction starts after the groundbreaking ceremony. Construction completed. 2-story, 5-story, 10-story building. 2 or 5 people, dedicated volunteers needed to run the organization decided upon. Another 25, 50, 100 people needed as a staff, paid staff decided upon. Inauguration ceremony held. And that hospital, hostel, school, college or a community center put in the service of society. The story that I described happened, or Pramukh Swami Maharaj made it happen every 15th day of his life for 50 years. Why I tell you this? That by intense hard work with ethics, you can rebuild yourself. If Chandrasekharan can do it at TCS, Pramukh Swami Maharaj can do it at BAPS. We are still young, energetic. We can do it. If we decide, we can. Sometimes out of the blue ideas, sometimes not the routine ones, sometimes the crazy ones. Startups are many are such. Yesterday, you might have read, there were news that somebody at Kasturi Nagar in Bengaluru, he started a restaurant. It is pay-per-minute restaurant. Meals free. Any meal that you choose in the restaurant, free for you. You enter the restaurant, leave. They charge you 5 rupees per minute. Whatever you want to eat, any amount you want to eat. Rethink. He has come with altogether a new concept. Whatever you want to eat, whatever amount you want to eat, you can come here and eat. 5 rupees per minute is the charge of the restaurant. 5 rupees per minute. If you sit there for 20 minutes, whatever you eat, any amount you eat, you have to pay 20 into 500 rupees the moment you exit the restaurant. Now the guy has rethought the entire field of food, of beverages, of restaurants, of hotels. This can produce a revolution. It has the power. And he has already inaugurated it. It was in the news yesterday. Rethinking, redesigning, and rebuilding yourself. With intense hard work, with expert advices, or maybe with some intuition. I gave you all 3 examples. Sachin's rethinking was with expert advice. Chandrasekharan or Pramukh Swami Maharaj did with, that is the growth with intense hard work with ethics. This guy in Bengaluru, rethinking with some intuition. You can rethink. Once there was a meeting at the ICC in England, and the discussion topic was, why not the amount of money in cricket as they are in football? Basic. They wanted to rethink on things. Can we bring the amount of money that is in football to cricket? 3 घंटे तक चर्चा चली, सब बिगीज बैठे हुए थे, कोई एक अच्छे कॉन्क्रीट प्लान पे नहीं आ सके. After the end of this meeting, the class 3 clerk, class 3 employee sitting outside and maybe noting the minutes, he approached the ICC president and said, "Sir, I have a small idea. If you allow me, I can present." So okay, tell to me privately first. जो normally CEOs करते हैं. Because then if it is a good idea, the CEO can present in the meeting as his idea. So tell to me first. मैं आप सभी की बहुत अंदर की बातें जानता हूं. क्योंकि probably this is my more than 2000th conference or seminar in my life in the last 25 years of corporates. Organizations different, students different, everything different, but as corporates. So like, तो ये employee ने बोला कि सर ऐसा करें, let us shorten the format of the game. क्या? And he said, let us make a 20 over match. बोले कि have you gone mad? From a 5-day test match, we have already reduced to 50-50 international, and now you want a 20. कौन आएगा देखने के लिए? सर फुटबॉल में जितने पैसे हैं उतने क्रिकेट में लाने हैं. हाँ, इसीलिए तो 3 घंटा ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग किया था. Make the game short. ठीक नहीं है. Any new idea is first rejected as a total absurd idea. लेकिन बहुत थिंकिंग किया, T20 लाए, तो आज जितने इन्वॉल्व है सब माले माल होने, सब माले माल हो गए. Some junior players who earn in IPL today, even the 15-year test careers in the 70s and 80s did not earn that. इससे मैं ये बात बताना चाहता हूं कि not every time people with ties and coats get the best idea. Even class 3 and class 4 can get it. So have your employees in a state that they can express themselves. ये मर्सिडीज वाला ने नई गाड़ी बनाई थी, वो जीप इंजीनियर्स ने बनाई, लेकिन रोल आउट नहीं हो रही थी. The beam was obstructing the car. So the 15 engineers were like stuck what to do. Then they finally came to a decision that you have to break this beam. We want to get the car out. The first roll out from the factory, from the manufacturing unit. Gatekeeper दौड़ा, sir don't break the beam. गाड़ी के टायर में सब हवा निकाल लो, बैठ जाएगी, बाहर आ जाएगी, फिर हवा भर देना. 15 engineers of Mercedes said, yes, you are right. सो एक चौथी बात मैंने ये कही कि थोड़ा ईगो कम रखना कि बिकॉज आई एम एन MBA फ्रॉम LSE, फ्रॉम हार्वर्ड, only I get the best ideas. The 100 great ideas which has changed the course of history upon this earth, out of them 77 have come from class 3 and class 4 employees not wearing ties and coats, okay? थोड़ा ईगो कम करके, आई कम करके ओपन फोरम में जाएंगे, अच्छी बातें मिलेगी, अच्छा क्लिक हो जाएगा. So this is again an aspect which makes you to rethink, and these are the procedures. प्रमुख स्वामी महाराज को किसी ने पत्र लिखा and he requested that Swami ji, I want you to write in English that I bless you. With the help of somebody, Pramukh Swami Maharaj wrote. And when the person saw it, he said, Swami ji, just a small, with folded hands, a suggestion that there is a rule in the English grammar that the first alphabet of the first word after the full stop is always capital. You have written I small of the second alphabet and rest all the alphabets in capitals. Pramukh Swami Maharaj said, I know this, but keep your I always small. This is the teaching from a great saint like Pramukh Swami Maharaj who has achieved so much. And this 1300 institutions that he set up every 15th day for 50 years, intense hard work with ethics. He traveled to more than 18,000 villages, towns and cities in 60 years. This all statistics after his age of 51. Because he became the guru of this organization at the age of 51. So these are all the statistics after him being 51 years old. From 51 to 95 की मैं बात कर रहा हूँ. 18,000 villages, towns and cities in 60 countries. He personally visited more than 3.5 lakh homes. Personally read and answered more than 7.5 lakh letters. At an unbelievable average of reading and answering more than 70 letters a day. Without a Sunday for 45 years. अभी ये वीकेंड के बाद आप सोमवार को ऑफिस जाएंगे और अपना ऑफिस मेल खोलेंगे. और if you have 25 mails to answer before lunch time, what will happen to you? वैसे ही पागल हो जाओगे. In the midst of all this work, Pramukh Swami Maharaj responsible answering, not just blessing. 70 letters a day, decision making. Because people used to write to him for their personal issues, family issues, professional issues, public issues. Not the term public issues that you people are familiar with it. I'm not talking of the IPOs. If somebody is in public life. Along with that, he initiated more than 1,200 saints like us. And out of them, more than 750 of them are graduates, postgraduates, chartered accountants, doctors and engineers. More than 150 of them are born American and British citizens. More than 50 saints in the organization, they have studied from Ivy League colleges. Stanford, Harvard, Carnegie Mellon, Yale, Oxford. ये तो मैंने आपको इसलिए कहा कि आपको ये ना लगे कि कुछ जमा नहीं होगा, कुछ ठीक नहीं चला होगा, इसलिए यहाँ के बैठ गए. सब कुछ जमा हुआ था, सब कुछ ठीक ही चल रहा था, लेकिन समाज सेवा करनी है, अध्यात्म के मार्ग पे चलना है और समाज को कुछ अच्छे विचार देने हैं, इसलिए हम यहाँ आए. This is intense hard work with ethics. प्रमुख स्वामी महाराज को किसी ने पूछा कि कौन सा विचार आपके मन में हमेशा रहता है? A person who had scaled this height, who had met more than 4 million people in his lifetime. अक्षरधाम जो आपने देखा, कोई बिल्डर्स और डेवलपर्स की कॉन्फ्रेंस थी हैदराबाद में थोड़े साल पहले. I was there as a keynote speaker. The first question I asked to these developers and builders is there anybody sitting in the audience who has seen 1,300 lands with a purpose? प्रोजेक्ट बनाना, डेवलप करना, पूरा करना वो अलग बात है. किसी बिल्डर को ये भी पूछ लेना. On the banks of Yamuna in Delhi, on 110 acres of land, a stone carved project, not a commercial one, not a residential one, not to be done and sold, in 5 years. Pramukh Swami Maharaj completed it. उसमें कैसा रीथिंकिंग और रीडिजाइनिंग किया. The Sompuras who designed this project told us that the scale that you want will take 35 years. प्रमुख स्वामी महाराज said we want to do it in 5 years. गैप कितनी है? ऑलमोस्ट 6 टाइम्स की गैप है ना. कोई आपको बोले कि ये प्रोजेक्ट 35 इयर्स लगेगा, एक्सपर्ट्स बोले, and you reduce it by 1/6, you need to rethink and redesign, isn't it? Only then you can rebuild. Pramukh Swami Maharaj asked the Sompuras, why you tell me 35 years? He said that Swamiji, you will not get more than about like 1500 to 2000 artisans to work on stone. And we have done this since 500 years, our generations. So we know that you will get maximum 1500, 1700 artisans. If you want to complete this project in 5 years, you need 7000 artisans, which are not in the country. Rajasthan, Orissa, sabhi ko mila lo, nahi hai hamare paas itne artisans. See now where the rethinking and redesigning starts. प्रमुख स्वामी महाराज ने कहा कोई बात नहीं, हम 5 साल में पूरा करेंगे. And you know what the rethinking and redesigning प्रमुख स्वामी महाराज did? फिर से एक वाक्य दोहराना चाहूंगा. आपको एक्सपर्ट्स बोले कि 35 इयर्स लगेगा ये प्रोजेक्ट में और आपको 5 साल में पूरा करना है, कितना रीथिंकिंग और रीडिजाइनिंग चाहिए? Pramukh Swami asked us saints to go to each and every village of Rajasthan and Orissa, meet the artisans who are working on such projects. बस thank you, अब ये बंद रखना. And to ask them, आपके भतीजे हैं, आपके भांजे हैं, आपके भाई हैं, who because of the lack of this carved work or getting a job as an artisan has shifted to running a tea stall in his village, has shifted to a kirana store in his village. उन सभी को बुलाओ, हम 6 महीना उनको प्रैक्टिस करवाएंगे, ये आर्टिसन उनको ट्रेन करेंगे, क्योंकि उसके ब्लड में तो है. He has this art in his blood, but because he is not getting this work since 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, 15 years, you need to just ask him to do a practice for 3, 5, 7 months and he will get back. इस प्रकार से हर गांव में इन राजस्थान ओडिशा we saints went, our volunteers went there. We set up small training camps and finally at the peak of Akshardham we got the figure that we wanted and we completed the project in 5 years. By this I want to tell you that if you decide upon a project and somebody tells your planning team, your executive team, your expert team that this can happen in this time frame, if you want a lesser of it, if somebody tells you this will need this much amount of resources but you want to do it in lesser amount of resources, you need to rethink. No locksmith makes a lock in this world without a key. Every problem has a solution. And if there is a lock without a key, it is not a lock, it is a lump of iron. If there is a lock, there must be a key. Without a key, a lock is not defined or called a lock. It is lump of iron. In the same way, there is no problem without a solution. If there is not a solution, it is not called a problem. You have to rethink and you get a solution. And sometimes the solutions are right in front of you. Very easy to get to. But you need to put aside many layers. And the first important layer is non-ethical thinking, non-ethical living, and non-ethical workmanship. ये हटाना पड़ेगा. समझना there is no shortcut to success. You cannot go at the top of the Everest by a parachuter or just be there in a balloon and get your photograph printed on the front page of a newspaper. No, you have to climb from the base camp. There is no shortcut to success, there is no elevator, it's always a staircase. Ethical living, ethical working, and ethical relationships are the foundations of rethinking, redesigning, and rebuilding yourself. प्रमुख स्वामी महाराज को किसी ने पूछा कि कौन सा विचार आपके मन में हमेशा रहता है. उन्होंने कहा जो विचार मेरे मन में कभी नहीं आया मैं बताऊं. And that was more interesting. He said, किसी का भी अहित हो ऐसा विचार मुझे जीवन में कभी नहीं आया. in the commercial and the corporate world, the amount of thinking that you give to unethically compete your rival, the amount of resources, energy, money and everything you use to compete or bring down your rival in some way, if the same amount of thinking and ideas and money and resources, if you use for your own betterment, for your own growth, you will definitely grow. किसी का भी अहित हो ऐसा विचार मुझे जीवन में कभी नहीं आया। तो आप जहां काम करते हो, जो भी प्रोफेशन में हो, ईर्ष्या का भाव मत रखना, एनवी का भाव मत रखना, जेलसी मत रखना। हमेशा ये एटीट्यूड रखना, ही इज ही, आई एम आई, इट इज हिज वर्किंग, हिज डेस्टिनी, हिज कर्मा, हिज प्रारब्ध एंड हिज ग्रोथ। I enjoy my karma, my prarabdha, my destiny, my work, my blessings. They are there, I am I. That keeps you in a healthy competition, not unhealthy competition. Unhealthy competition से आज तक कोई जीता नहीं है, जीतेगा नहीं, और करेगा तो थोड़ा rise initial होगा, लेकिन you can become zero from hero within seconds when your unethical practices are caught. So if you want to rethink and redesign, the energy that you need for it, the intuition that you need for it, for rethinking and redesign, actually gets used up in non-productive things like thinking too much about your competitors and rivals. वो लोग वो हैं, करने दो, मेरा ये रास्ता है, यहां से मुझे ऊपर चढ़ना है. As simple as that. Unethical practices करोगे, मतलब unethical working, you will have to pay someday. Even if you are the king of the skies, you have to leave India without Indian passport. राज्यसभा मेंबर थे इसलिए डिप्लोमेट्स पासपोर्ट पे चले गए. Even if you are a promising pace bowler of India, you get caught in spot fixing and you can't avoid a life ban. आते हैं ना सब नाम. ओवरनाइट यस नो हो जाता है. क्या? यस बैंक नो बैंक हो जाती है ओवरनाइट. Nobody is bigger than ethics. आज नहीं तो कल, कल नहीं तो परसों तकलीफ आएगी. Because the world is round, it has no corners, so it does not have the place to keep your wrongs. बाहर बात जरूर आएगी. Unethical practices की तो आज नहीं तो कल तकलीफ तो आएगी, जरूर आएगी. Somebody has, many a times I jokingly say, those who played with the cricket ball had to leave cricket. कुछ चेड़े किए तो. Those who played with the banks had to leave India. 2-3 लंदन भाग गए हैं, 1-2 कैरेबियन आइलैंड में हैं. सबको वापस बुलाने की लीगल प्रोसेसेस चालू हैं. आएंगे, यहाँ के मुंह भी खुलेंगे, वो भी तकलीफ में आएंगे, और वे लोग मुंह खुलेंगे, बड़े बड़े तकलीफ में आने वाले हैं. Can you play with electricity? Yes or no? Can you play with fire? Can you play with water? Same way you can't play with ethics. ये मत सोचना कि आई एम इनविंसिबल, मुझे कुछ नहीं हो सकता है. I have power, I have money, I have positions, I have influence. एक सेकंड में पंचर हो जाएगा, एक सेकंड में. Unethical practices की, even if you are an electrical engineer for 40 years and you hold a powerful position as an electrical engineer in a giant state level corporation, my simple question is, can you put your finger inside the plug? आप प्लग को ये बोल सकते हो कि आई एम इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियर फ्रॉम IIT, 40 years back, 4 decades of experience, आई एम अ चैंपियन इन माई प्रोफेशन. ये स्टेट कॉर्पोरेशन के चेयरमैन की उंगली. ओके, जरा ध्यान रखना, स्वागत कर लेना अंदर. ये बोल के भी आप प्लग में उंगली डालोगे तो क्या होगा? चिपका देगी, मर जाओगे. In the same way you can't play with ethics. Otherwise, you can put yourself in a lot of trouble. So ये बराबर ध्यान रखना. Then you will be able to rethink yourself, and once the stress of unethical practice creeps in, difficult to come out of that stress. It can lead you to disaster and suicides. थोड़ा कम करेंगे चलेगा, लेकिन गलत काम करके ज्यादा करने का प्रयत्न मत करना. थोड़ा सेटिस्फैक्शन बार रख लेना. और जो ओवरनाइट स्टोरीज ये लोग डेपिक्ट करते हैं ना, कोई स्टोरीज ओवरनाइट नहीं होती है. Success is never an overnight procedure. It's always a long-term execution of values, of ideas, of workmanship, of teamwork. ये सभी हो के सक्सेस होता है. God does not play favors. कि कभी के किसी को ओवरनाइट सक्सेस दिया, किसी को नहीं दिया, ऐसा नहीं होता है. सो ओवरनाइट स्टोरीज पढ़ के ओवरनाइट कॉर्पोरेट जायंट्स बनने का प्रयत्न मत करना. It is one step at a time. और एक अच्छी बात आपसे करनी है. When you want to rethink, redesign and rebuild yourself, take care of all the people around you in a way that they are contributing to your organization, making you or helping you to grow. Employees को second family देखना. एक फैमिली आपका घर पे है, another family is at your office. And sometimes when we go to such places, they very proudly introduce their employees that he is with me since 30 years, he is with me since 25 years, he is with me since 28 years. It's the credit of the company.